April 1935. A senior Royal Air Force commander is flying solo over Scotland. Below him, an abandoned airfield, overgrown, empty, dead. Then a storm swallows his plane whole. When he breaks through the clouds, the airfield is alive. New buildings, yellow aircraft, mechanics in blue uniforms. A uniform that didn't even exist yet. He's wide awake, in full control, and completely terrified. What he saw came true 4 years later. What if time isn't a straight line? What if, under the right conditions, something tears and people slip through? Today we're going into one of the most fascinating rabbit holes I have ever gone down. I analyzed 122 documented cases of what researchers call time slips. Spontaneous, involuntary experiences where ordinary people claim to have witnessed the past or the future firsthand. And I'm not here to sell you a theory. I built a credibility scoring system. I ranked every single case. And today, I'm showing you the ones that are genuinely hard to explain away. Let's go. Before we get into the cases, you need to understand exactly how I filtered them. Because here's the truth. Most time slip stories are garbage. Anonymous forum posts, social media claims, third-hand accounts. 90% of them fall apart the moment you apply basic critical thinking. So I built an original scoring framework I call the Veritas Index. 6 weighted pillars. Every single case in my dataset goes through all 6 before it earns a score. The first pillar, expert and institutional review. Has anyone with formal credentials, scientists, investigators, military committees, law enforcement, actually examined this case on record? And what did they conclude? Credible, fabricated, or inconclusive? The second pillar, independent witness volume. How many completely separate, unconnected people reported the same event? Did they file reports independently without any chance to coordinate their accounts? The third pillar, reporter integrity. Who is this person? What is their professional background? What do they stand to lose? Career, reputation, relationships? If this turns out to be a lie, have they made similar claims before? Are there any signs of substance use, mental health history, or personal motivation to fabricate? The fourth pillar, historical and contextual precision. Do the specific details they described actually match the documented historical record of that time and place? Not roughly, precisely. Because a genuine time slip should produce details the witness couldn't have known, and those details should be verifiable. The fifth pillar, narrative stability over time. Did the account remain consistent across months, years, even decades? Or did it gradually gain new dramatic elements, new witnesses, new layers, the signature of a story being embellished? The sixth pillar, physical or material evidence. This is the most powerful pillar of all, and the one almost no case ever satisfies. Is there anything tangible left behind? An object, a biological change, a measurable anomaly, something that exists in the physical world and cannot be explained by the reported experience being purely psychological? Every case gets a score from 0 to 100 across all 6 pillars. Cases with commercial motivation, books sold, merchandise, monetized media, receive automatic penalty deductions. Cases documented by multiple independent investigators receive bonus points. Most of the 122 cases I studied scored below 50. A handful were genuinely hard to put down. Case 1. The RAF commander who saw the future. April 4th, 1935. Air Marshal Sir Victor Goddard, a decorated senior Royal Air Force officer, is flying a Hawker Hart biplane from Edinburgh, Scotland to Andover, England. Routine inspection mission. Part of his route takes him over Drem Airfield, an old World War I military base that Britain had long since abandoned. He expected to see what everyone expected, an overgrown ruin, and at first, that's exactly what he saw. Then the storm hit. Out of nowhere, violent yellow clouds consumed his aircraft. He fought for control. He failed. And then, just as suddenly, he broke through. What he saw beneath him made no sense. The derelict, abandoned Drem airfield was operational. Freshly painted buildings, mechanics moving around below, and 4 aircraft sitting on the ground, 3 biplanes, and 1 monoplane he had never seen before. A design completely foreign to him, all of them painted bright yellow. The mechanics were wearing blue uniforms, not the brown standard of the Royal Air Force. Blue. Nobody looked up, not a single person. Despite the roar of his engine directly overhead, despite a violent storm right above them, he tried to go back down and land. The storm pulled him back in. Second time through, the airfield was a ruin again, empty, abandoned, exactly as it should be. Victor Goddard landed safely, sat in his cockpit, and thought very carefully about what he was about to do next. He was a senior officer with a distinguished career. Reporting this would invite ridicule, possible psychiatric evaluation, real career damage. He reported it anyway. His superiors laughed. Oxygen fluctuation at altitude, they said. Stress-induced hallucination. His experience was logged in RAF records and largely forgotten. Until 1939. 4 years after Goddard's flight, the following happened. Drem Airfield was fully refurbished and reopened. The RAF repainted all training aircraft bright yellow. RAF ground crew uniforms were officially changed from brown to blue, and the Miles Magister M14, a monoplane with a completely unrecognizable design in 1935, entered active RAF service. The monoplane Goddard couldn't identify? The Miles Magister wasn't even designed until 1937. It did not exist in 1935. So how did he describe it accurately? Now, let's run this case through all 6 pillars of the Veritas Index. Pillar 1, expert and institutional review. Goddard's account was officially entered into Royal Air Force records at the time it happened, not retroactively, not after 1939 validated his claims. At the time of the incident, no authority ever formally ruled it fabricated. When 1939 arrived and every anomalous detail became standard RAF policy, the case was quietly revisited by aviation historians and paranormal researchers alike. None of them could produce a credible counter-explanation. Full score on this pillar. Pillar 2, independent witness volume. Goddard was alone in that cockpit. One witness. I want to be completely transparent about that. Under any normal scoring framework, a single witness drops the score significantly. But the nature of what he witnessed changes the equation in a way that applies to no other case in my dataset. He wasn't reporting a feeling or a vision. He was reporting specific, technical, verifiable details about physical objects and institutional policies that did not yet exist. 4 years later, reality independently produced those exact details. The corroboration didn't come from another person. It came from documented history. Pillar 3, reporter integrity. Air Marshal Sir Victor Goddard was among the most senior and decorated officers in the entire Royal Air Force. He had everything to lose by filing this report. His career, his credibility, his standing among colleagues. He had absolutely nothing material to gain. He filed the report anyway. That is not the behavior of a man constructing a story. Pillar 4, historical and contextual precision. This is where the case becomes scientifically uncomfortable. In 1935, RAF aircraft were not yellow. RAF ground crew wore brown, not blue. The Miles Magister did not exist in any design office anywhere in Britain. Goddard described all 3 of these things specifically and accurately. All 3 became official RAF reality by 1939. The precision is not approximate, it is exact, on details that were impossible to know. Pillar 5, narrative stability over time. The account was filed immediately, and entered into official records in 1935. It did not evolve after 1939 made verification possible. Not a single detail was added once history caught up to the story. The account Goddard gave in 1935 is identical to the account that history confirmed 4 years later. Pillar 6. Physical or material evidence. No physical evidence exists from this case beyond the RAF records themselves. Goddard's aircraft was not damaged. No physical change was documented to the aircraft, the airfield, or Goddard's person. This pillar scores low, and that honesty is important. It is the one gap in an otherwise exceptional case. This case is not just remarkable because of what Goddard saw. It is remarkable because time verified it. No hallucination predicts the future with that level of specific institutional accuracy. Case 2. The soldier who vanished into 5 days. This is the highest scoring case in my entire data set.